If you've inherited a home here in South Florida or the state of Florida, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now. That's very common. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get your inherited or probate property ready for market. Stay tuned for some tips and make sure to check my previous videos on 5 things you need to know as soon as you inherit a property, along with other videos in this series. Now, before I jump right in, I want to remind you of a few things that I talked about in my previous video, which is securing the property, making sure that the property is, no windows are open, that doors are locking. Maybe you need to get a locksmith to change everything. Another thing that people, especially if you don't live in Florida, don't always do is leave the utilities on. We have a lot of hot weather. It's muggy. It's humid. You want to make sure that that AC is running. So you want to make sure the utilities are on. If they are set up for automated payment and things like that, you want to check into that to make sure that those are on. Another thing that you want to do is make sure that your homeowner's insurance is being paid. Is it up to date? Is it being paid right now? What's the status of that homeowner's insurance? Another thing that you want to double check on or have somebody do for you is walk the perimeter of the house, the interior of the house. Are there any leaks, like roof leaks? Is there any plumbing leaks? Is there any mold growing in the house? Are there things that you need to maybe take care of now so that it doesn't become a bigger problem? How does the lawn look? Does it need maintenance done? So I know it sounds like a lot, but I have people that can certainly assist you if you're not in the area, or maybe you are in the area. And that's one of the services I provide, is providing referrals to different vendors that can help you out. Another thing that you want to make sure you're doing is forwarding the mail. And it seems to take a long time now. I have some listings where the mail needs to be forwarded, and I'm still getting mail that I have to mail to them like a month later or so. So make sure that you do the appropriate change of address, and that you are getting the mail that you need. So since we're talking about how you want to get a home for, ready for sale, if you've inherited it, a big thing that seems to delay the process, and I see this over and over again, is decluttering the home. Look, when someone passes away, how we live in our homes is how we live in our homes. And some people have a lot of clutter. They have a lot of furniture. They don't necessarily get rid of things if someone's been sick. Maybe nobody's been living in the house. So you have to figure out a game plan to declutter the home. I have a great video that I did all about decluttering, and I have a free declutter guide that might help you segue through that process. I always say it's one item at a time, one room at a time. Maybe it's one cupboard at a time. If you need to declutter the house in order to see what's going on in the house, then you'll need to start there. Now, you can hire professional companies to do that. Many people do. It can be overwhelming, especially if it's just you. So, again, I have lots of different vendors that I can refer you to that can help you out, that can separate things from clutter to things that need to go out to, um, let's just say, charities, things that need to go in the trash, and things that you want to keep. But when you are going through the process of losing a loved one or someone close to you, sometimes we're just not able to think like we normally would because it's so overwhelming. So let me help you in that arena as well. One thing I'm going to say, and I love all of you who love to clean, nobody cleans better than a professional cleaning service. I say it all the time. I have cleaners that clean my own home. I can't clean the way they clean. They just are amazing. So when you are going through and decluttering and getting rid of items and clearing out the property, other than maybe some items that you're keeping for staging, which is a great idea, and we'll talk about that as well. You want a professional cleaning company to come in and do a deep dive, deep clean of that house. That means the baseboards, really cleaning any tile floors, looking at the carpet and vacuuming that. You might be dealing with some odors. Maybe somebody had animals, things like that. You want deep, deep cleaning. That means open up the stove, clean out that refrigerator, cupboards, even the gook on your like stove or lines on your counters and things like that. You want to have a deep, deep cleaning done by a professional cleaning company. The next thing that you want to do is look at, are there some repairs that need to be done? Most of the properties that I work with have some sort of deferred maintenance. It just is what it is. That could be gutters, that could be fascia boards, that could be cracks on the patio, it could be a leak in the bathroom, things like that. So you want to look for anything that needs to be repaired. Small repairs can have a big impact, right? So maybe you need to patch up the walls, maybe it needs a fresh coat of paint inside, maybe there's a stain on the rug and it just was never professionally cleaned. Things like that are very impactful on pricing and how your home is perceived. And a small thing that you can do is replace any burnt out light bulbs. Go around the house, see what light bulbs are burnt out, match them up. So if all the light bulbs are like a yellow hue, don't get the white ones. Just try and match it all up. It just looks more cohesive. The next thing is, do you need a major repair? How's the AC running? Is it an old AC? Is it something maybe you want to consider replacing? Did the person who passed away have a home warranty? If they had a home warranty, go make a call and find out what it covers. It may cover some big expenses for you. Okay. So you want to look and see what needs to be replaced, repaired. Is the dishwasher not working? Is the refrigerator not working? Things like that. Another idea for y'all is, and I did a video on this on how to create great curb appeal for, I think it's like under $200. The front of a home is super important. Okay, now we're talking single family homes, maybe townhouse or villa. A condo isn't really going to apply as much. However, if you or someone wants to maybe refresh the front yard, that could be as simple as getting 20 bags of mulch and having them thrown into the garden beds, right? Simple weeding, calling the landscaping company and having them trim the lawn and trim the trees. You know, with palm trees, we have palm fronds falling all the time. Sometimes my yard is full of them, and I have to yell at my husband to go out there and drag those darn things out. So, curb appeal is really, really important because the first thing somebody sees of a home is the front of your yard. Now, the second thing is the backyard curb appeal. So, if you have a pool, or you have a lawn out there, or maybe the furniture is yucky and rusted or just old, it happens. You want to remove all that and just have simple curb appeal for the backyard. I just had a conversation this morning with a power washing company. Wow. Let me tell you how impactful a good, power wash can be of your sidewalks, of your roof, of your front door, all that kind of stuff. Now, you need to assess the roof because some roofs are older and a power wash may not be appropriate, but you can talk to a company about how to have a cleaner roof if you have a tile roof that needs a cleaning. But I'll tell you what, and another thing, and we did this years ago, a beautiful color for your front door. Doesn't nothing like freaky, not the discount bin at Home Depot, by the way, paint wise. I saw something like that recently. I was like, oh no. When they go to sell that house, they're gonna have to repaint the outside of the house. However, having an impactful, beautiful color for a front door could be a great piece for curb appeal for your property that you've inherited. So let's talk about one of my favorite pieces, which is staging your property. So a lot of times I'm able to utilize furniture that's already in the property. We remove anything we're not going to use, we stage it appropriately, and that's helpful for buyers to get a feel for size, but also for the photos. Sometimes we can't remove things. The good news is we can Photoshop items out now. which we couldn't do a long time ago. But now we can Photoshop things out. We disclose that maybe something's Photoshopped out, etc., including cars. If there's a car in the driveway and it can't be moved, which is another thing that has happened to me before, we'll do our professional photos, always professional photos, and we'll just Photoshop the car out. One of the big keys when you're getting your inherited or probate property ready for sale is pricing. You want to price properly right out of the gate in this market. We have the highest amount of inventory in our South Florida market than we've had since about 2008. So if you know somebody who maybe purchased a property a couple of years ago and it was a higher price, there was also a lower interest rate. So somebody's financing, and we have like 1.5 months of inventory. So as of this recording, we have a lot more inventory than we used to. And so pricing something appropriately is so important. I can't tell you how important that truly is. And I know when people have inherited property, sometimes there's other people involved, heirs, siblings, people who have opinions on price, and they're looking at Zillow and they're looking at other pricing platforms. But at the end of the day, your real estate agent is going to look at everything and pull the data, the historical data, and give you a pretty tight range of where you might want to be. And I will also tell you that might include, by the way, if we don't have so many showings within a certain amount of time, you need to consider a price adjustment. That's a strategy to make sure that you are not chasing the market. So you can rewind this and listen to what I just said, by the way. And then the other piece is if you've inherited property, I many times will recommend that the personal representative here in Florida is what we call the person who is in charge of handling all the items of the estate once they're appointed through the court letters of administration. Um, to get an appraisal, a CMA, the comparative market report, is not an appraisal, folks. That is just a historical report. We as agents are not appraisers. And so I frequently recommend that my sellers get an appraisal. And, at some point they're going to need it anyway. But if there's more than one person involved with an opinion on what you need to do with the property, pricing, etc., getting an appraisal is a great way to say, look, I've had a professional do this appraisal. Here it is, however you want to deal with it. Typically, my CMAs, and I know when I speak with other agents, their CMAs are pretty in line with an appraisal, but an appraisal is done by a licensed professional. This is what they do all day long. So maybe consider an appraisal. At the end of the day, a well-presented home that is clean, smells good, is clutter-free, and has a few fresh updates is going to attract way more buyers than just throwing it on the market without any thought. And I do see that occasionally. And so it's so important that you talk to an agent like myself who specializes in probate, certified probate, specialist here, and also senior real estate specialist. And I have been working with probate and inherited properties and seniors downsizing, gosh, since about 2012. So I've seen a lot of different scenarios, and my experience is, hey, if you do the following, you'll have a much better outcome than if you don't. If you don't live here, that's okay. We have lots of companies here in Florida, in South Florida, I'm in Boca Raton, that can help you. That includes packing up items and shipping them to you and to other people that are earmarked for those items. Here's what you don't want to do right now. Once you've inherited the property, once someone has been appointed the personal representative, and you want to sell it, start to make the moves to get things going. The longer you hold on to a property, the more deferred maintenance is. It's going to cost you more money. Potential things happen and things break. Large things, leaks happen. We have hurricane season from June 1st to November 30th. You want to make moves as soon as you can to try to get to a new chapter in your world. Keep in mind again that overpriced properties are just going to sit and it's going to stress you out. Your realtor will do as much as they can to try and get it sold, but when it's price related, it's very hard until you get into what I call that sweet spot. And you'll know when you get into that sweet spot because you'll start getting calls to see the property. Selling a home that's inherited or in probate is stressful. But let's try to make it less stressful for you. I am here to help assist you with marketing your home, getting it listed properly, pricing it properly, making the suggestions that I do, no matter big or small. A property is a property. I am happy to help you out. I have a free guide. So if you want that, just check out the description and click the link for that. And if you'd like to set up a time to just have a conversation about what's going on with property you've inherited, I'm happy to chat with you. I've been through the probate process with both of my parents. And again, I've been working with probate and inherited property sellers for over, gosh, I think 12 years at this point. So I am happy to have a conversation with you. No stress. I'm not a pushy person. I just want to make sure that you are able to get the highest and best you can if you're going to keep the property. And again, if you have any questions, all my contact information is below. My name is Michele Bellisari, and I am happy to help you with your next chapter.